Okay, you should have gotten the notification that recording is starting. Today we are joined here by Holly Scroggs from the LAPSEN Institute. Holly serves as a director for industry recognized credentialing and assistant director of grants at LAPSEN. Prior to her role, she spent 8 years with the Roswell Police Department in Georgia, transitioning from officer to criminal justice teacher. Holly's teaching career included roles in Fulton County and Forsyth County. I apologize, my dog is going to start barking, where she co-founded Alliance Academy for Innovation, holding an EDS in curriculum and instruction, an MBA in criminal justice, and a BS in criminal justice. She emphasizes the importance of career and technical education and soft skills development. Holly's commitment to CTE extends to her involvement in Skills USA, where she earned accolades as a student and led her chapter to multiple honors as a teacher. Presently, she homeschools her children while remaining active in her community and enjoying family time.
I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. No. So just for those of you on the call today, we will upload the recording of today's session to the Google site. Here is the link to that as well, if you want to save that in your web browser. And then afterwards, towards the end of the presentation, I will drop a couple of links into the chat. But for now, I will stop sharing and I will pass it off to Holly.
All right. Well, hi. Thank you for that introduction. Like she said, I work for LAPSEN. LAPSEN is the Law and Public Safety Education Program. Network. LAPSEN was actually founded it was founded quite a while ago, but it was revamped, just a few years ago. And actually, my high school criminal justice teacher is the executive director. And so he knew that I was leaving teaching to homeschool my 4 young children. And he asked me to work part-time. So even though I'm a director, I only work part-time. So if you ever email me or anything like that, just know that I may not respond right away, but I will definitely respond. But LAPSEN is it's a nationwide nonprofit. Actually, let me go to my next screen because today I'm here to talk to you about what we have to offer as far as industry recognized credentialing goes. She already went through all of this. That is me. So that was a great introduction. Thank you very much. So LAPSEN, one of the things that we kind of pride ourselves on is that we are a network. So where I personally might not be able to help you, I can probably point you to 3 or 4 other people that can help you. So what we really, strive to do is make teachers' jobs easier in the law and public safety classroom. As Erin said, I am a former criminal justice teacher. I taught forensics as a pathway, and then I also taught criminal investigations as a pathway. I don't know what kind of pathways you guys have in Ohio, but that was in Georgia. But we're here to kind of focus on the high school level. We do provide resources to the college level, but our main focus is the high school level. And we try to provide curriculum, certifications, and any sort of models that we can, use, connect you to the right people that you need to, be connected to. And that's kind of what we do. If you have a cadets or explorers program in your area, we try to help you guys connect with that. But basically, we're here to serve you guys. We're a nonprofit, so we're not trying to make a ton of money. We just, Tom and I were both in the classroom, and so we know what it's like. When I came off of patrol, I was, had no teaching degree or education or anything like that. And I was given a classroom full of students and they told me to teach. So luckily I knew Tom, and Tom was able to, actually, he just kind of gave me all of his whole entire booklet of curriculum. So luckily I had that, but that's what we're here for. I had a teacher who came to me and said, hey, I have a background in corrections, but they want me to teach forensics. Can you help me out with that? And I was able to share with her my entire year's worth of forensics assignments, curriculum, all that kind of stuff. So we're here to help. If I can help you, I gladly will. If I can't, I'll find someone to help you. So that's really what we're here for. And y'all let me know if you have any questions as we go. I will gladly pause and let you guys ask your questions. So just to let you know, I am a little bit biased, but our industry recognized credentials, or our IRCs, are the best because of the process we go through. A lot of IRC building industry organizations just kind of create what they think is good. We actually work hard with industry to kind of really make sure that we have the best of the best. So first, what we do, as you can see right here, here's our process, is we work, excuse me, I'm sorry, I am getting over a cold, so if I end up coughing a little bit, please excuse me. But first, we actually reach out to industry and professional associations because we want to make sure that every part will align with, students to the needs of the LPS industry, because that's what we're trying to do here. So we do this to identify the knowledge and skills that industry desires in entry-level employees. So that's our first thing, is we go to industry and we say, what do you guys need from us? Then we start to design our credential. That's right here. In instances where an industry credential already exists, we may do a thorough evaluation to make sure that it matches educational standards that you would have in your classroom and aligns with the high school level expectations. So you see that with detention officer or patrol officer or crime scene processor, things like that. The credential actually goes through this really intense validation and scrutiny, and then we pilot it to kind of make sure that it is what it needs to be. Then we take what the industry identifies, the concepts, the knowledge that they want, and we turn them into course standards. So I would say that the course standards that I was working with when I was in Georgia 4 years ago were over 10 years old, and they have yet to be updated. So we're working hard to try to get all states on board with these new national standards. Not that they all have to be identical, but we need to have them up to date. You guys know, if you're in law and public safety, that things change year to year. And so that's kind of what we do, is we try to update those kinds of things. So anyways, we create national standards. Then what we do, once we actually create our credential and we create the standards, then we start to build courses along with those. And we build curriculum to go along with that. Excuse me. So we'll build curriculum to go along with that. And that is something that you would freely have access to if you're a member. Now, I will say Ohio is not a member yet, but when I talked to my boss yesterday, he said that Ohio was in talks with being a state member, and then I think the person he was talking to actually left their position. They're working to replace that person. But let me tell you, membership is $25 as an individual, so it's really inexpensive if that's really something you want to do. But if you just email me and you need something, I'll help you whether you're a member or not, to be honest with you, because that's kind of what we do. But anyways, we build curriculum, and it's really good stuff. And it's not just built by me. It's not just built by Tom. We have a committee that actually comes together, and multiple teachers create the curriculum and evaluate it and things like that. Then what we do is, if we need to, as we implement the courses, if instructor needs to be certified, which we'll talk about a little bit later, we'll provide that training to complete that course so that the teacher can teach it. Most of ours do not require that a teacher be certified in a specific thing, but some of them do. So then what we do is, as soon as we implement those courses and the credentials, we continually offer support. So we provide training, seminars, conference. We have a national conference that was actually awesome. It went along with the National ACTE Vision Conference, and it was fantastic. It was in Phoenix, Arizona this past year, and that went great. But anyways, we're here to help, and this is our design process. So as you can see, it's very thorough. It's not something that gets done in a year. This is a 2 or 3 year process because we're having to work with industry, and sometimes that makes things take longer. Our assessment host, for the most part, is U-Science. They provide great support and customer service. I've never had an issue with them, even when I use them as a teacher. So U-Science is fantastic, and we're really glad to be working with them. All right, let's get down to the nitty gritty. Here are the assessments that we offer. You'll see there are 9, and there are some micro credentials that we're working on, but that's something that we won't really have time to talk about. But as you can see, we have a lot of assessments that we offer. So let's start with the first one. This one is, I'm biased as a former law enforcement. This one's my favorite. But this is our NLEC, our National Law Enforcement Certification. As you can see here, but kind of a big thing is in the top right-hand corner, this is where you're going to see who our industry endorsement is. For those of you who don't know, IATA is a group of basically all the state posts. So your state post is most likely, if not definitely, a member of IATA. So what IATA does is they coordinate training, standards, policies, and research between all of the state posts. So we're really excited to have IATA, this preeminent law enforcement training organization, endorse our certification. They've endorsed several of ours. They highly approve of it. So not only does this mean that like our certifications are nationally recognized, it also means that that your students will have a huge leg up if they have this certification. So you'll see over here on the right, the cost and the cut score. The cost is $18 for LAPSEN members. So if you or your state is a member, the cost for your students to take it would be $18 per student, $22 for non-members. Cut score is a 70. There is no specific instructor training required to teach this. We will get into some in a few minutes that will require that. But basically, this is your law enforcement certification. No, it's not going to let you step into a job at the age of 18 being a patrol officer. But what this is going to do is show the hiring person within an agency that you're applying for, or sorry, that your students are applying for, showing that your students have learned all of this. And they've shown dedication over 2 or 3 years to complete this certification. So you'll see it's patrol, traffic control, witness interviewing, evidence collection, the law, crime prevention, even some weapon and equipment operation. There's defensive tactics in it as well, which isn't on the list, but students always love. That was always one of our favorite days in my classroom. So this is our NLEC. And like I said, this one's my favorite. The next one I want to talk to you guys about is National 911 Dispatch Certification. This one, to me, is not my favorite, but it's the best because this one, if your students earn this, you'll see that it follows the National 911 standards. And if your student wants a job as soon as they walk out of graduation, they can have one with this certification because dispatch hires at 18, or most of them do. And this is literally a certification saying, I am already a certified dispatcher. So that is what is so great about this one. And you'll see here all the topics covered. You can, along with this, we have a couple different partners when it comes to dispatch simulations and simulators that we can get you in contact with them. And if you're a LAPSEN member, you get a discount with them. But our industry endorsement is NECI 911, and they are recognized nationwide. You'll see our cut score and the cost, and there is specific instructor training for this one. So let me tell you a little bit about it. You will have to complete an instructor training. However, NECI does allow a 1 school year grace period for a teacher to complete all the training. So during that time, you can still teach the course, test, and certify the students, but you need to get your your instructor training done within that school year. So teachers are required to either have one, verified experience in emergency dispatch. So if you have verified experience, you can skip over that instructor course. Or two, you need to complete their basic communications course and become a certified dispatcher. To be an instructor that can certify your students, you do have to have the instructor certification course. It's a good course, though. It's very interesting. I've gone through it, so it is an interesting course. You'll see the prize 50, and then 75, and the cut score is 75. So this is our first one that does require instructor certification.
Holly, there are a couple questions in the
Yes.
chat.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. So
All
the
right.
one question I asked was, is there a cost for the instructor training?
Yes, there is. I can actually pull it up. I don't know off the top of my head with so many different courses, but yes, there is. Let me go there real quick. This is our website, by the way. It's beautiful. Let's see. Teaching instructor certification. Price. Yep. So the instructor course is $500, and then you get a $100 discount if you're a LAPSEN member.
Great. And then another question that was asked is, can the instructor be among the regular course teachers, such as a math teacher who has a professional teaching license, but not hold a CTE teaching license to be able to
Yes.
get the teacher training?
Yes.
Great. Thank you.
Yep. All right, perfect. Great question. All right, and then the next one, whoops, what are we doing? Oh, okay, yeah, I just want to make sure I didn't skip any. All right, the next one is our Certified Protection Officer certification. This is another one that's going to require instructor certification. I can look up the price for you guys as well on that one, but it's probably in the same ballpark. This one is endorsed by the International Foundation of Protection Officers. It is, recognized nationwide. You'll see this certification is actually recognized by the U.S. Department of Labor, ACES International, and then thousands of American companies, private security companies who actually recognize this one. And this is another one where students can step out of graduation and have a job. So this one is kind of big for that reason as well. And IFPO actually allows the same 1-year grace period to teach and complete your training, before, you actually have to have that teaching certification. And it's got similar requirements in that teachers either have to have certification by a state entity in security or protective services. 2, they have to have 3 years experience in security, law enforcement, or military. And this is just to bypass that instructor certification. If you're just a lay person, even without any teaching degrees or anything like that, you can complete the instructor certification. This is just to bypass that. You could complete the third requirement is you complete the IFPO CPO course and then pass the CPO exam. That's how you can become an instructor, or those are some requirements to become an instructor. Once you've completed the instructor certification, the really cool thing about this one is you're given a password to all the instructor materials. And since this certification is actually created by IFPO, so LAPSEN did not create it like the other two we've already talked about, and it's created by them, so all their content is theirs. But as soon as you create that instructor certification, you get the password to all the instructor materials. This is a fantastic 3rd-year course to prepare students for careers, or if you have, if you're already at a 3rd-year course and then you have students who, maybe started an intro. So we in Georgia, we had 3-year pathways. So if students started freshman year, sophomore year, junior year, then their senior year, if they don't really have anything, but they still want to take another CTE class, this would be a really great one to throw in 3rd or 4th year. That would give them a great job opportunity afterwards, after high school. All right, this next one was created by LAPSEN. So this is the National Basic Detention Officer. So this is not one that will allow you um, as a layperson to just step into a jail and start working there. Most of us in law enforcement know that you actually have to go to your post and get certified and that kind of thing. This is not going to certify your students to walk out of the classroom and into the jail, but it's very much like the first one, where your students are going to demonstrate that they know all of this information, and that they are ready to be sent by an agency to go become a detention officer. So you'll see our industry endorsement is IATLIST again. Since it's a LAPSEN test, the price is a little bit lower. Cut score is 70. There's no required certification for teachers to teach this course. This is another good one that's good to be thrown in as a second, third, or even fourth year course. This one is actually almost ready. It'll be ready in winter of 2024. This one's been in the works for a year and a half, if I remember correctly, maybe even 2 years. Another one that's really great is basic crime scene investigator. Again, this one is like basic detention officer. It's not certifying anyone to become a crime scene investigator. It's certifying that they know this information, and that they put forth some blood, sweat, and tears to learn this information. Just like basic detention officer, this one is also in the works, and it will be available in winter 2024. No required certification. It is a LAPSEN created certification. So 18 and 22, and then the cut score is 70. That's that one. All right, here is one that we are really excited about. We actually just picked this one up a couple months ago, actually, and this is for your legal services pathways. It's the National Accredited Legal Professional. So we call this one ALP, and it's endorsed by NALS, I'm sorry. And NALS is actually the one who created it, but interestingly enough, they have asked us, LAPSEN, to go through and revise it, update it, make sure it's where it needs to be, because we are the biggest nonprofit for LPS. So they came to us to try to revise that. So that was pretty awesome. But basically, if you have a student who's in legal services, they want to walk out of high school with a certification, that's what this is. And this would actually go ahead and certify them in something that they can walk into a law enforcement building is the only word coming to my mind. A law firm, I'm sorry, and go ahead and just get a job right then and there as a legal support professional. So that's really fantastic. You'll see that most of these have to do with the office of a law firm, but that's where students at the age of 18 are going to be able to get a job. They're not going to be able to get a job as a lawyer. They're not going to be able to go be a judge. They have to start somewhere. And so this is a really good place for them to start. Oh, and again, there's no required certification for teachers preparing students for this credential. This is a new one we also introduced, the LAPSEN LPS introductory level. So this can be taken at the end of the intro year, and it basically says, I know some introductory stuff about law and public safety. There's no industry endorsement yet. Like I said, it's brand new. We're probably going to get IATLIST on board, but that's all in the works. So, but I wanted to go ahead and introduce it to you guys in case this is something you might want to use, at the end of this year or even at the end of next year. But you'll see it's all basic stuff. Understand these careers, understand the basic criminal justice system, court system. So what you're going to be teaching in intro, this certifies that they know that information. Cut score is 70, cost is 15 and 18, and you don't have any required certification to teach it. And then our last two are both drone certifications. So when I first came on to LAPSEN, I was like, why do we offer drone certification? And it was explained to me. I've been out of law enforcement for several years now, that drones are being used more and more in law enforcement. And that kind of blew my mind. I had never even thought about that. And some of your students might not even be thinking about that. But if you guys have students who are techie, or love driving or flying things, this would be fantastic for them. So basically, they would get their drone pilot certification. And then there's another drone certification we're going to talk about in a second, that allows them to kind of take what well, let me get to that. Anyways, this first one is basically their drone pilot license. And it's not through us, it's through the NFPA. And so this is their test for the small unmanned aircraft systems, which is a fancy word for drones. So basically, you will have to, if you're a teacher and you want to teach this, you will have to complete their certification and train the trainer class. However, it's pretty easy to do. We do get a discount as LAPSEN members. The cost for the test would be $20, $25 for non-members, and then the cut score is 70. So, and then first the students would have to take this one, then they would be able to take this next one, which does not require certification and actually is not done through NFPA. It's done through Blue Ridge Mountain Drones. And basically what this certification does is it teaches them how to take the photos or the information or the videos that they got from the first course from the drone and put it into essentially a mapping system. This was explained to me, and I'm not the best at explaining it, but basically it gives them, we can create 2D and 3D maps. One thing that was kind of pointed out to me about this was that students can actually go take pictures for real estate with their drones. They can put themselves out there as self-employed for for however long they need to, and go take pictures or be a drone pilot and go take pictures for whoever needs pictures taken. My boss's son went through this course and was taking pictures for a real estate company. He's making bank at the age of 19. I was pretty impressed with it. So this is a great option for that as well. So this will literally give them a job right out of the gate as well. And actually that was so fast. Those are all of our certifications that we offer. This gives me a second to talk about micro-credentials. So we are working on micro-credentials as well. So that's going to be things that kind of demonstrate that students have learned about specific things that we do in LPS. Things like you might get a micro-credential in handcuffing, or a micro-credential in performing a traffic stop, or a micro-credential in opening statements in the courtroom or cross-examination, things like that. They are in the works, and while they're not going to certify students in anything, they are going to help kind of pad their resume and make them feel better about themselves, which I think a lot of our students kind of need nowadays. But that's actually all I have. I went through those relatively quickly. So if you guys have any questions about any of them individually, or if you have any questions about what LAPSEN does or what we can do for you, I will gladly answer any of those questions you guys might have. That was way faster than I was expecting. Did I talk really fast?
No, that was perfect. Thank you so much.
So I used to provide my phone number, and then I realized my life is too crazy for me to really answer phone calls. My oldest is 4, and then I have twin 3-year-olds and then a 1-year-old. So I don't really have a whole lot of time to answer phone calls. But if you shoot me an email, I should email you back within a day or two. So if you're in the classroom and you're struggling a little bit, please email me and I will help you in any way I can, whether you're a member or not. And then our website is lapsen.org. Let me actually jump out of this. and jump to our website. Our website is pretty easy to follow, but what I wanted to show you guys real quick is this is our home screen. And if you go to student credentials up at the top, you can see everything that we do with industry credentials. And then here are all of our credentials. You can click on these and learn more. You can learn about the accommodations that are offered, whether you can whether your students can take retests. You can kind of look through all of that information. Also, I provided this presentation, and also each of these are clickable links as well that will take you to those specific certifications if you're interested. So, any questions, comments, concerns?
Did you share at the beginning what they need to do to become a LAPSEN member?
I am clicking all over the place. I actually did not. Becoming a LAPSEN member, I think is going crazy now. Becoming a LAPSEN member is very easy. I did talk about Ohio was talking about becoming a member, and then they ended up not because the person that they were in talks with left. But if you go up to membership and click on individuals, this shows you how to join, and it's just $25, and you guys may even be able to get your district to pay for it. Or, hopefully your state could join. Let me see. You could also have your district join. I will say that. I forgot about that. If a whole district wants to join. But the cost for state is $500. We're very inexpensive because we're not trying to make money. We just need to pay for me to do my job and him to do his job, and a few other people do our job. But
we have a question in the chat about are your courses geared towards a specific grade level, or can any grade level student in high school complete your courses?
Okay, that's a really good question. It's all age groups, anyone in high school. And really, they could be used in the college level, but they definitely are geared a little bit more towards high school. It's a good question. But yeah, any age in high school.
And then you shared briefly on your website about accommodations. Are the accommodations specific just to testing, or is there flexibility in the presentation of the courses?
So I don't know I don't know the answer to that question. I think the ones on here are specifically talking about accommodations for the test. I don't think there's any problem with doing accommodations within a course. I can get some clarification on that and email you and let you know that. Let me write that down. I'll forget.
Yeah, that would be great.
All right. Yeah, I'll definitely get some clarification on that and email you. Should school submit a CET 24 application on the? Oh, I don't know that. I don't know the answer to that question.
I don't know the answer to that question either, but I can send it to people within our state support teams to see if they have the answer, and we can post it on the site.
Perfect. All right.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. I greatly appreciate it. I dropped into the chat the website for LAPSEN as well as Holly's email address, so that way you could email her with any specific questions. Hopefully you enjoyed our session today. I've also put in the chat the 2 URLs for the certification for today's presentation to get your certificate for that, and then the overall feedback for all sessions for today. The URL is posted in the chat as well. Have a great afternoon. Thank you.
Hey, Erin, it looks like there was another question that I didn't answer in the chat. It says, can you share the links? Which links did you specifically want shared? I'll gladly share whatever needs to be shared. Oh, it looks like she dropped out of the, never mind. She's no longer in it, it looks like.
Okay.
All right.
Perfect.
Thank you, Erin, and thank you everyone for attending.
Have a great afternoon. Thank you.
You too. Bye-bye.